Good morning everybody and welcome into today's video. Today we're doing something familiar but obviously haven't seen in a while, and that is we're going to be going back through and ranking all the Mario sets ever released. We did this on the channel 2 years ago. The LEGO Mario theme is something I have great interest in just because I think it's really curious what LEGO's done with it. I think it's taken a unique approach and obviously many people don't like it. So let's give these sets their due, talk about which ones are great, and yeah, do the LEGO channel thing. But most of the LEGO Zelda stuff is obviously coming later, but I want to talk about LEGO Mario today because the Nintendo sphere is super interesting. So let's get started with the worst set, at least in my opinion, and that is the Tanuki power-up. Of course, the power-up sets tend to rank pretty low in something like this just because they don't have much versatility and aren't as useful to the play system and so on. And to be fair, the least interesting visually happens to be this one. All the pieces here are just recolored from the cat suit, and it doesn't look as good on Mario, and the interaction with him when you spin to represent obviously the motion from the game with the Tanuki leaf is kind of simple as far as these things go. But there's more interesting sets to talk about, so let's move on to the next set, which is literally just a recolor, although this one did come out first, and this is the cat suit. This one's a little more interesting because you can walk up walls, hence why it goes over the Tanuki suit, but again, even by suit standards, it's pretty just okay. And again, the landscaping here is nothing interesting, it is just the interaction that saves this one. And then we have another one, the propeller pack. This list does get more interesting, and the propeller hat has a more interesting function yet again. We're using desert plates, which are a little bit rarer, and this mold here is exclusive to this set, which again makes it slightly more interesting in my opinion. I believe you could wiggle him side to side, and then he would sort of like float down and get coins, which is another motion that you can do in other sets, but yeah, nice to see here with a power-up pack. And the best of these worst four is the Builder Mario being something more unique, having a unique base, and a big stomp. So the power-up here itself is pretty rubbish, but the actual look here is quite cool, representing Mario Maker as well. And we have the Bee Suit. Again, wow, all of these worse than even the lowest of the Mario sets. And this one is of course based off the Bee power-up from the Galaxy games. Again, winning points purely for being more unique of a design, as the feature is almost identical to the propeller hat. And then finally we get a set on the list, and what really inspired me to make this video again is how many new amazing sets we've gotten, but also how many trash ones. As some of you may know, this is the new Princess Peach starter course that is coming out on August 1st. And yes, technically maybe I should have given this one until release before I made this video. However, I think we can tell by looking at it that this is inferior to the other starter courses. Not only are these retailing for around the same price, if not only slightly less, the piece count has been, for better or worse, halved. The lack of exclusive characters and interesting builds is definitely on show as well, with this one featuring Lakitu and Yellow Toad. Yellow Toad was featured in the other Princess Peach starter course, which is okay because it means it's similarly placed and valued, but Fire Bubble is another really common one, which is fine to get here, and Lakitu is probably the most exciting part of this set. Princess Peach really has nothing to do here apart from flick the fire bubble out the way, and the most interesting thing to me is the 2x3 Bowser's letter print, because literally there's nothing else going on here. Next worst set in my opinion has to be the other Yellow Toad set. Poor Yellow Toad has been done dirty, and that is the shop. I don't really know what's going on here. I appreciate that it is something different for the system and has a bit more of a traditional play loop to it, but I'm just kind of confused, to be honest. I don't remember any of these being in the Mario game. I don't know why we're selling planes and trains and ducks. It just has no interest in me and none of that magic that makes it stand out. Even the Mushroom House happens to be the most inferior of all the other ones. So sad to see this one play so low because I like it when we get creative ideas like this, but it's just a little unfortunate that this one is just completely unexciting. Just a bit better, we have the original last time we did this ranking, and another one, and our first one from the first wave that is in a power-up pack, and that is the Boomerbill Barrage, featuring the two Boomerbills, or Bonsai Bills, and the Shy Guy and the Mushroom. The character selection here is pretty alright, with both normal Shy Guy at the time being exclusive and the Bonsai Bills. However, I don't love the feature here. I think it's been repeated elsewhere and done better, and although the cog interaction is interesting, and this is a wave 1 set, I really don't appreciate the bills weigh down the transparent rods, which makes me feel like they're under stress, which just doesn't have the most high quality look to it when they're sagging during play. And just a bit better is another one. This is the Piranha Plant Puzzling Challenge. This one's actually not a bad set by any means. It's got a nice intricate mechanism and takes some time to complete. It is just a little bit boring. Again, it's one of the worst of the Piranha Plant builds where it doesn't do particularly anything interesting with the fact that they are Piranha Plants. The Spiny was a reuse from Series 1 of the collectible characters, so that's nothing special here as well. And the inclusion of red coins was a nice touch, but the build itself isn't very displayable or isn't particularly useful outside of this one challenge, although I do appreciate how intricate this play feature was. Next up we have another one of the new starter courses, and I really don't like these. This one's a little bit better with Luigi's here. He's got a little lantern in his hand and a new colour of Baby Yoshi, which is always great to see, new colours of the enemies. Abu has reappeared, which is great for some people, however for me I already have two, so I'm good. And Kamek is a nice inclusion because he hasn't been in a set for a little bit now as well. But again, as for things to do here, you've got these three builds, all of which I think can explode in some way. Like I'm sure there's the tree definitely opens up, I assume to reveal the Boo maybe. The pink Yoshi can stand by the gardening. There's just nothing going on here. You can't even build a course with it. I think these courses are such a downgrade to the ones we had before, especially for retailing for similar prices. And then we have another set. This one is Rambi's Rhino, Rambi the Rhino, I think. This is the first of the Donkey Kong sets to place on the list. And while the build here is cute and you can put a figure on the back, there's just not much going on here to entice me. I like the boulders, weirdly, because I like the idea of like knocking them over. But yeah, just a simple character build, nothing overall, nothing stand out, and a lot of the Mario $10 to $12 sets tend to do a lot more with this price range. But let's keep moving. We want to keep this moving pretty fast as there's quite a lot of sets now. And we're moving to this ice set here, which I believe is the Ice Flower Mario suit something. Cooligan is involved here, being the exclusive character, and I do like the new ice prints, both on the 6x6 tile and the small ruggly rock pieces to encase the Goomba. That's a lot of fun. The Ice Flower suit was definitely one we needed, and I appreciate that they did this with this one and the Luigi's Mansion Poltergust one, where you actually put them in sets to make them more interesting and buff up the sets. That being said, this one was incredibly overpriced, and there's not too much going on outside of the sort of Cooligan section, as the ice is just there to be skated on using the Ice Flower suit. So pretty simple, not too bad, just okay really. Another just okay one that I realise might be a bit of blasphemy for the true Mario fans out there, but we have Mario House and Yoshi from the 2020 launch wave. Didn't add much interactivity into the course builder system, because the only scannable tile here is the Yoshi Say Hello, and then of course the hammock to put Mario in. This one does work well as a display piece, admittedly, giving us the Mario house in its classic form, but you can't really fit him through the door. You can fit him inside just, but there's no real details, and really this set was just the pay $30 to get Yoshi set, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. And this set, yeah, just never really appealed to me, and I just think was truly just the way to get Yoshi, at least early on. Next up we have the Castle Gardens, or Peach's Garden Adventure, whichever name you want. One thing I do really love about this set is the inclusion of a fire bubble inside the balloon to be its like heat source, which is really awesome. I also think the fountain and turnip elements on their own, as well as the clouds with the balloons, as well as finally getting Pom Pom and another small Toad house were great ideas. However, it still feels a little bit messy together, and again this is one that fell on the slightly higher price range threshold. Unfortunately, a lot of the Toad based sets do, and there's a lot to love here, but again just kind of okay at the end of the day, or maybe the price is a little bit off-putting. Plus I don't think this one particularly displays well. It well and truly is a play set, but unfortunately I don't think it's necessary. Next up we have the Fire Bubble Lava Wave, which has a couple of interesting parts, namely the flames going along the bottom alongside the castle wall section. It's always great to get more of these things that could be in Bowser's Castle. There's basically a remade version and reskinned version of the Piranha Plant slide set from 2020. This one just finds itself as inferior. You can knock the bubbles off the end, which is cool, but I preferred the challenge of staying between the Piranha Plants, and it's cool that we're using the curved roller coaster track elements, but it's just not doing it for me. Firebro was a great inclusion, glad we finally got him after 3 years, and I do like the lava stuff, but overall just a little underwhelming. And we have our other power-up packs now. It's weird that they made them this high up. I think this is potentially a little bit more of a mistake. as we have Fire Mario here, one of the most iconic ones, with a really interesting interaction where you could sort of like tilt him forward to launch fireballs. This was also particularly interesting because then you could actually deal damage to enemies that way, and then when you stomped on them, they'd already like be dead because of the like the stored up fireballs, which is awesome. This was a really interesting function and looked really good on him because of the white color, so made for a great power up pack. But not quite as good as these next couple, including the Froggy set. I just really liked the Froghead mold. Getting 2 of this lily pad print in a cheap wave was great, and fully green overalls was an interesting one. Again, this one had a jump power, which is probably the most interesting implementation of that version that we saw across the other power-ups in a sense. So I just like how that worked out. And then in my opinion, the best of the power-up packs has to go to the Penguin, as this had the most unique feature, the most unique pieces due to the arms you could put on. Looked absolutely wonderful when you put them on Mario, and then allowed him to sort of ski forward down a slope, which was really, really cool. Best of the power-up packs for sure, although I do think that these last 3 power-ups should have been ranked a little bit lower on the list. Moving into, well, hopefully better sets, we're starting with a pretty mediocre one, and this is the best of the new 3 starter courses. Here we have Mario's new starter course, which features Bowser Jr. in a clown car, which is great for anyone that didn't pick up the Mario starter course last time, and also the Bowser Jr. clown car set, so great to see them here with some new designs. Getting Yoshi in here makes a lot more sense than having him in Mario's house set, so I appreciate his inclusion along with the Goomba. Overall, a better character selection than the other 2, although the builds here are definitely lackluster. I'm pretty sure that we get at least one sort of like turny around thing, and that may have something to do with the clown car as well. And you've got a little bit more of a landscape featuring a 2x2 like arrow tile and a couple of other bits like a question mark block, but again, not much to do here. Incredible disappointment in comparison to the previous starter courses, which I know a lot of people already were distasteful towards. Well, these ones are even worse. Next up we have Dixie Kong's Jam. I really like the stage build, specifically the lights coming behind the banana trees, as well as that new leaf element, and I think Squawks is a really cute build, but otherwise there's not too much going on here. You can have your jam out session, you've got some instruments off to the side, but it's a really simple set. Mostly you're here for the characters, but I do think the stage build is sweet. A little bit better still, we have the Fuzzy Flippers set, which features the Spring Mushroom block, which was a great part that was included in the Mario set, and adds a new little challenge to your Mario world, being the goal to get the Fuzzy Flippers on their undersides, which is creative and interesting. However, again, it's more of just a time sinker, similar to the Piranha Plant puzzling challenge. Interesting concept that I'm glad was included, but nothing overall very special here. Next up we have the Luigi's Mansion Lab and Poltergust set, which featured not only one of the classic Luigi's Mansion ghosts, the Golden Ghost, as well as Professor Egad, 2 highly sought after characters for this sub-theme, but also featured the Poltergust itself, which is a great alternate switch out for Luigi, and I was really appreciative of this Luigi's Mansion wave. This was definitely the best way to implement the power packs by adding them into smaller sets, as it means that you don't have to pay just a fixed rate for a power up, but you're also getting some other builds with it. The other inclusions here were fun, and I love that they are all like one-for-one recreations from Egad's lab in Luigi's Mansion 1. That's a lot of fun as well. Better still, we have the Maker set. This is the first one from 2021, which features a variety of different things to sort of expand your worlds. And I've always been a bit of a fan of these sets in particular, more so the Course Decorator and also the upcoming Swamp Maker set, because I just think they add so much more variety and life to these worlds, because you always need these like terrain gaps to join the bigger sets together. But it came with a decent selection of enemies, with the highly reproduced Boom-a-Bomb and Goomba, but also Koopa Paratrooper. I really love the 3 platform climb on the lava, as well as all of these different sort of castle pieces, a couple of brick blocks, and then the really interesting function of the maker blocks, although again it feels a little bit underbaked. Overall, there's not much here to make this set a standout, but I do like what it was trying to do, and giving us our first Koopaling of course gets it some extra points too. Personally, I'll probably get the controversy for this one, but I've actually put the second iteration of Mario's house, the beach version, at the next spot, and that is purely because Mario can actually fit and live in this house. Yes, the house is uglier and simpler, and the build was overpriced, and there's not much going on, but this was where we started to see the more like sort of live-in play aspects of the Mario theme start to come through. And while I don't think I'd ever buy this set particularly, I do appreciate that it was a different take on the house while giving us the features that worked from the first set, apart from the looks, and just sort of developed it in a new direction. It's a really interesting take, and I particularly like all of the different references and interactions Mario can have with his house and boat. Now we're into the newer starter courses, starting with Peach's still unfortunately being the worst of the three. Peach really couldn't catch a break with her sets in the LEGO Mario theme, as unfortunately, just like in the new releases of the original three starter courses, Peach again was the weakest, with very little to do here outside of a tea party and the new fruit mechanic at the time. We have a talk to Toad, a defeating Lemmy, and then a garden swing. This one doesn't just feel quite as challenging or quite as startery courses, it feels more like a side piece to Peach's garden, which is interesting. I do like the present, I think that's really well built, and of course getting Peach, who was incredibly well designed and looked wonderful, but again just not as much packed into the starter courses as you'll see with the other two later on. Then we have Yoshi's Gift House, which again is a fairly simple set. I actually quite like the aesthetics of this one. I think it could work well as a display piece, but this was mostly centered around the gimmick of the fruits and presents, and actually has a high amount of depth to these interactions. So much so that I think there's almost too much depth, because I think it's quite hard to encompass all the different things you can do. Overall, this one looks nice. It was a good alternative for those people that wanted Yoshi and didn't like the house set, which I believe I'm the only person of, and getting Monty Mole back here was interesting as well. Lots going on, but not too much that was essential, hence its lower ranking. Which brings us to Piranha Plant Slide, another one of the originals and another one that ranked pretty lowly when we first did this list. Getting a Koopa Troopa and Goomba were great, but neither of these were exclusive, alongside the Piranha Plants, all of which featured in the significantly better Guarded Fortress set. The inclusion of a timer block was great, although again appeared in a much better set, and while getting more desert landscapes as well as this interesting motion challenge was really interesting, and I did appreciate the different style of challenges, I feel like this one was on clearance for a reason, and unfortunately, although being sort of like the go-to first used expansion, didn't really offer too much outside of being sort of a key part of the Wave 1 lineup. Next up, we have our first polybag set, being the Super Mushroom Surprise, the original one that launched in 2020. This one's nice and simple. It's basically a glorified character pack, hence why it's ranking a little bit lower, because you only get one of them and you're paying more. But I do like that we were able to get the Super Mushroom for cheap. A lot of places this was given away free if you pre-ordered the starter course or if you bought the starter course in the first week. So that makes it even better because it was just kind of free, which is great. And of course it came with a question mark block. I own this set. I think it's great for what it is, but again, it is fairly simple at the end of the day. Followed by immediately another polybag. This one just has a little more substance to it, not only giving us a fuzzy, which are massable in-game, which is great so that you could buy lots of these and have an army, but also featuring a couple of different biomes, being a square of desert with a superstar. We have a little bit of coral and a mushroom as well. So this one was just a little bit more versatile than the other, but otherwise it ticks all the same boxes as a polybag, and in some places was still given away for free. Better than that is the Whomp's Fortress. This one's a little disjointed again. You've got this Koopa Shell feature to knock off the Lava Bubble or Whomp, and it's okay, but it doesn't really capture the movement of the shells like future sets would. Specifically, I'm thinking of the beach sets where you could launch the shell at the Hucket Crab, but also here you have this little like Titasaur, which again is a feature we saw so much of that it isn't really anything special. However, the star of the show here is Whomp, which is the entire reason that it's ranked so highly. Still exclusive to this day, a fantastic character and really important one to have in LEGO Mario form. Really glad we saw him make the jump in that first wave. Next up's our next polybag, and this is the Yoshi one. I like this one a little more because we get a coloured Yoshi, but also because we got another one, the fruit gimmick. I think the tree build is very cute. It's probably about on par with the fuzzy one in my opinion, but has to rank somewhere, so here is where it is. Next up we have the airships. This is the newer pack that came out last year. I really appreciate obviously getting two of our Koopalings, even though one of them was a reuse, but also the Pirate Goomba, and I really like that these ships could open up. Although it wasn't particularly exciting on the inside once you did do this, I like the empty play space and the fact that you could integrate them into the course builder system. It was a really interesting take to see these smaller airships, because obviously the big one was so popular and so wonderful. So curious to see whether these came about because of that or were just originally planned anyway, but make for some really recognizable builds. I don't feel that they should have had the Koopaling faces on. I know that's accurate, but I feel like we could have just got smaller airships. But overall, I really like this set. Following up on this, we have King Boo's Haunted Yard, another one of the original 2020 sets, and one that I didn't initially like. I really like the swoop feature where you spin them round and King Boo is launched out of his hole, and this is still the only way that we got the original King Boo from the Mario series and not the Luigi's Mansion series. So I think that function is really interesting, and I like that there's two difficulty settings as well. The cobweb flip-flops and tree mysteries are all great, and getting two Goombas is wonderful, but otherwise the build is pretty simple and mostly focused on background display items, which is okay, but this was a retail exclusive and really only features one major function, so I think many sets do this haunted concept better. They're following up, this is another Haunted set, surprisingly enough, and this is the Luigi's Mansion entryway, one of the funniest named sets ever because it's literally just a doorway. Again, this is another one with a really complex play feature, which I actually appreciate. Not only have we got the well, but you can slide through the door, then you have to sort of move the spider out of the way so that you can close the doors behind you and reveal the secret, and then you can take that bone to Polterpup, and of course you have Bogmire, who's another really iconic ghost. You've got the gates out front, but there's actually quite a lot like sort of packed into this set, but unfortunately to me, the only real interesting thing here is Bogmire and Polterpup, as the rest is just a kind of funny facade, although it does compare well with the other sets, but not too much going on, but a lot of interesting things nonetheless. We have the new Peach's Castle up next. Again, this one hasn't quite come out yet, but this is sort of the smaller, shrunken down sort of front gate to Peach's Castle. I like this one significantly less than the original. I think the Chain Chomp car is kind of silly but fun. I'm glad we're getting Chain Chomp again. The little fountain out front is cute, and getting a Toad is cool, but the interior is incredibly lacking here, and I do like the aesthetics, but I just think it's too small. It feels more like a world castle rather than Peach's actual castle. And yeah, I think the interior's weakness is really what sort of makes me reluctant on this set. We have the Donkey Kong Country Mine set next, which again features more desirable characters in the form of Diddy Kong and Funky Kong outside their plane store, which looks fantastic. Again, this set tried to do a lot. I really appreciate a lot of the functionality that was put into the minecart tracks to make it feel like the games. However, unfortunately, despite all these clever play features and angles to make the shark jump and the track bounce and turn and flip, it just is too clunky. It looks great, but it does not execute its goals correctly, at least in a way that I feel was clean enough compared to other Mario sets. Again, feels more over-engineered than anything, although I do like what's here. It's just, I feel a little hard to get enjoyment out of. Another set that suffered from an interesting or similar-ish problem is the Toad's Treasure Hunt set from the original 2020 wave. This was one set that was great for having all these Toad houses, these great background pieces, and of course the nearly still exclusive Toadette. And one would think it's great. It also featured the 1, 2, 3 blocks, which were hidden all across the map, which was a great and fun integration for the Mario system. However, this set was overpriced and a little bit over-engineered as well, really slowing down anyone's course completion times, but also just sort of making a mess, especially for a 70 to 80 pound set, meaning that unfortunately this one was just a little disorganized, and compared to the other Toad's Hut set that was the SDCC promo, which had a lot less availability, this one just feels a little bit bare, although I do still hope to own it one day. We have Luigi's Starter Course up next, which is the penultimate of the starter courses to appear on this list, featuring a nicer character lineup with the Pink Yoshi, Boom Boom, and Skeleton Goomba or Bone Goomba. This one had a fair bit going on, although again still simple in places. We got a lot more platforms, a lot more course build sections and enemies to jump on, but we also have this large like teeter-totter saw where you can put someone on top and spin them around, or you can raise up and down the side pieces to knock people off, or even come in with this flying rotating gear stick to even sort of rotate it and mess with it as well, which both the ground floor but also higher up as well. A couple of interesting interactions for Luigi and a couple of different set dressings make this one a step above Peach's for sure, for having more action-oriented play that really shows the capability of the Digifigures, but still not the best one that we've got, as the original really did do it better. We have Sumo Bros Topple Tower up next. This one did a great job at integrating not only one-player fun but two-player fun into the set. The inclusion of the Crowbar is still ridiculous to this day. I do not know why the Crowbar appeared in a character pack but also in the same wave of sets, and then having Boss Sumo Bro on the top as an exclusive character is fun. I'm glad that you can change the tower's height and that it all crumbles down when you want it to, and of course that you can knock him off and he has his little chest beating function. Lots of fun packed into a small set, very vertical set. I always am a sucker for a vertical box. Lots going on here that's great apart from our Crowbar friend. Actually, another set from that wave that was just better still was the Lakitu Skyworld. I really like the colours here. I like the feature, again, one player or two player. Getting Bullet Bill back after being an incredibly desired character from Series 1 was fantastic, and the mushrooms look great. The spinning of Lakitu works well, but not perfectly, so it's a fun feature that has a little bit of challenge to it, I suppose is the correct terminology. And also I appreciate getting the fuzzy as well. So just again, another really solid set. Not hugely displayable, but not undisplayable either. Lots going on. I actually quite like this one a lot. One I like a little more happens to be the original Peach's Castle from 2022. It took us a year or two to get a Peach's Castle, but it was worth the wait as we got quite a lot going on here, meaning Toadette's second only appearance with Ludwig the Koopa, Goomba in a cake, which is still one of the best things to come out of the Mario line, and Bowser's reappearance after his castle in 2020. We have this great feature where you can turn the throne around to represent Bowser's takeover, as well as having the Super Mario 64 Sun portrait, the paintings that you can jump through, and a couple of other details. Once again, the interior fairly lacking here. However, the larger scale and more Digi-Mario feel to this one sort of aid it to me above the other one, which I realise will be unpopular because people want less Digi-Mario stuff, but I really like the way that they were able to sort of make the theme fit the Digi-figures here, which is something that we see across these initial sets, and less so on sets like this, which is the Donkey Kong set from last summer. This is Donkey Kong's Treehouse, which is probably my favourite of the Donkey Kong sets. I think it's the last one that's in our ranking. Mostly because there's a lot going on here and it feels the most like a Lego Mario set. We've got Donkey Kong's Treehouse with this amazing Donkey Kong build that you can tell they put a lot of care and effort into. We've got all these fun interactions such as like the banana case underneath, all these different trees that can be knocked over. We've got his bouncy tire, the bongos, oh Cranky Kong's here too I guess, bananas in a big tree that can shake side to side, and a resting hammock, 2 deltas on the inside. I think I just appreciate Donkey Kong's Treehouse being translated into Lego form. It's a really special build that I like a lot, and does the job well. It translates itself perfectly, which is awesome. And yeah, it's great really. Fantastic set, just not up my alley. A set that I'd definitely be picking up if I didn't own the Luigi's Mansion sets is Boo's reoccurrence along with Drybones' reoccurrence. Again, the first time both of these variants have appeared since Wave 1 in the new Luigi Haunted House set, which is great. It looks fantastic. Unfortunately to me, all of these characters are not exclusive, as I already own Drybones, but this colour of Baby Yoshi, Shy Boo and King Boo in his more cool form in my opinion, which is the Luigi's Mansion one, into this compact mansion. It looks great. Glad the characters can fit through the doors, and there looks like there's a couple of fun features inside, such as like hovering on the bookshelf, a hidden exit, and then a couple of other features as well. Overall, it does look really great. I think this set is great for newer fans of a Lego Mario theme, and I think people will be more happy to pick this one up than the other Luigi's Mansion sets because it has that aesthetic exterior. But for me, I already got what I wanted in the playset versions, and I got more characters in a sense. So nothing here to entice me in, me even giving it a middle of the run placement. Bringing us on to the Dory Beachfront Adventure, which has that aforementioned shell hitting the Hucket Crab feature, as well as these splashes of water. These beach sets always did a great job at getting the atmosphere. This also is the return of the 1, 2, 3 treasure hunt blocks, one of which is hidden inside this sandcastle. Again, another unique feature. Another one on this tree, which you can knock over. I like that because the trees bounce backwards and forwards in Mario. We have a Dory build, which is technically inferior to another set that's coming up soon, and then our other Hucket Crab, who was making his reappearance after his series debut. Again, a great small beach set, just small and therefore not too much going on. Another set that featured a power-up pack, and I'm surprised this made it this high, and it isn't because it features a power-up pack, is the Cat Peach suit and tower, which featured a Cat Goomba, Kamek, and a Red Toad. I just really like the verticality of this tower. It feels different from other Peach's Castle stuff. I like the 3D worlds atmosphere, such as like the cat fruits and the bell tree as well. And there's stuff going on here that I think is really cool, with like the pushing in to climb the tower to reveal the power block, and then pushing the power block to make Kamek fall over. It's really cool. Lots going on. You can put a character at the top of the tower. It just feels more unique than the Peach's Castle, and I love it when LEGO does their own kind of random things. I also really like that there's like loads of ice all over the place, so you can really feel the effect of Kamek and why you've got to take down this mini boss. Dory's Sunken Treasure Ship gets the next place, still not the best of the beach sets, as one was just amazing. This one has a sunken shipwreck of an airship, obviously referencing the 2021 Bowser's Airship build, and also features Cheep Chomp as the exclusive character. Again, I like the exclusive character. I like that it's a different kind of environment, not as much digital interaction going on here, but what there is here, it works really well, such as the treasure chest in the clam to reveal and get the key to unlock it, a feature carried over from Dry Bowser's Castle. Obviously we've got Cheep Chomp as well, and then Dory in a much better version of the build here for that character, and a question mark block underwater. Little nice bits here that I do appreciate, but again, pretty simple and also kind of hard to display with other sets due to its underwater nature. One set that I did feel carried on the legacy of the £50 sort of landscape-based set into 2022-2023 is the Ice World set here, the Frozen Lake, with the Fliprus, Freezy, Snow Penguin, Baby Penguin even, and Snowman. The unfortunate part of this set is that the Red Koopa Trooper, Freezy, and Baby Penguin are all reuses from CMF series or other sets, meaning that the only real draws for me for this one were the Snowman, the Cool Terrain builds, and the Fliprus, and it did feel a little bit derivative of other sets such as the Big Urchin Beach set, which I just found more interesting and more up my street. Therefore, I do like the snowy landscapes here, all of the transparent pieces and the ice skating rink and the really cozy campfire, as well as that snowman feature to drop him on the Koopa as well. I think that's all great, but again, just not as special as other sets in the Mario lineup. Just eking it out ever so slightly is the newest of the Maker sets featuring Wiggler and other poison swamps. It is about time we got a new Shy Guy colour, giving us our third one here in pink, and I really like the decorative elements that appear here, such as the trees, the poison sign, the leaves, and those vines that are going upwards. We have an alright piranha plant, it makes sense that he's here, as well as lots of ways to expand your course. This one definitely feels, out of a new wave, the most like a Mario course expansion, and I really like that, as it seems to be, well, dying or changing. I also really like the superhero pieces being used to represent like the spatters of poison. I think that's really cool, and it just feels so lush, so much better than the original Maker set, although not quite as better as the Decorator set, which we'll be seeing soon. I think if the Poison Swamp hadn't have included Wiggler, this one would have outdone it, because Wiggler here works so much better. The only thing missing is really a feature for Wiggler, because that's what the Poison Swamp has over this set, is that you can wiggle Wiggler backwards and forwards and it causes an interaction. Speaking of that set, here it is, just ranking one set higher. Character selection's okay, a lot of wasted space, but it was a cheap price. I just don't love that Wiggler's was entirely reliant on this play feature. Yes, I know I just complained about that, but it's something that always bothered me, was that he has to be attached to the build or his head droops to the floor and so on. There's just something off about this set that stops it from ranking any higher, but the feature's really creative and I love the inclusion of the characters, and it does capture that environment. Although now that we've seen the newest set, it feels a little bit empty in places, but not bad for a Wave 2 set. Next up we have the San Diego 2020 Toad's House set, one of the last of the San Diego releases ever. This one's cute, nothing exclusive here, which is great because it means you can just build this on your parts at home if you don't care about the box, which I don't, and I will be at some point. It's just a really sweet set. It was a displayable Toad's House, which is great. I love the little fence off to the side with the question mark blocks and the trees. I think that was really adorable, and that's why I love it when we get more scenery items, like you'll see later on. Getting the sign was cool as well. Lots to love about this one, and it was just a nicer Toad's House set than, say, the Toad's Treasure Hunt, which is a shame because I'm always supporting playsets over display sets, but here, unfortunately, the display set just wins. We have the Goomba Shoe taking the next spot. I really like how this one can bounce. It's a silly little inclusion, but works really well for the £10 threshold. Much more interesting than power-up packs. I really like it, and also another cheap way to get Goombas is always a way to my heart, because I love getting to army build the little fellas, because you see so many of them across the games. Speaking of Goomba army building, this is a new set. I will definitely be picking up one of these, hopefully a second, maybe if it goes on sale. We have the Goombas Playground, and these three are designed to be stacked because they have the jumpers on the top of their heads. I hope they still have the barcodes on their back. I'd be disappointed if they didn't. But it looks like you can also put them in the tree and then launch them out to attack Mario as well. Tree build is bulky and ugly, but it's really, really cute, and I love what's going on here, specifically like the seesaw as well, which is making some great part usage for a seesaw, stuff we don't usually see. Looks like you can put a digital figure on there as well, but mostly I just think these characters are adorable. I just love Goomba army building, so giving me Goomba army for cheap is always appreciated, even if the tree is ugly. Next up we have the Penguin set. I still need to pick this one up, I definitely want to, because there's a lot of cute things going on here. Not only Goombas with hats, I love Goombas with hats, I love Pirate Goomba, so of course I love Snow Hat Goomba, but also getting Mama Penguin after getting Baby Penguin in like 4 or 5 different sets is great. She looks great, they're perfectly fitting in the character system, they've got a little house. It's a fairly simple set, the features are good, it makes me want to get Penguin Mario so you can blend in. There is a couple of different things going on, such as like the fish and the sled, but it's a little simple, probably why I haven't picked it up, because I don't really want to pay full price for a set like this, but it is cute nonetheless, and I do like the penguin builds. We have Bowser's Airship coming in next. We're getting closer to the top of the list. This one's ranking lower than a lot of people would have it, and that's purely because I don't have as much of attachment to the set. I really like the ship build. I definitely want to pick it up, but I never wanted to pay full price for it, so I'll probably get it on eBay for a discount. I love Pirate Goomba. He's my favourite of the Mario characters that they've done, probably. It's up there. And I really love how the ship can open up, although it doesn't super feel like there's a lot going on in the ship once you do. Yes, I know you can put Mario on the back, and there's the power block, and there's sort of 3 challenges to defeat the ship, ship and then get the shipping like wheel to come up. But I mean, when you expand a set like this, you kind of expect more for play. Although, as display goes, it's gorgeous. One of the best ones they've done. And I love the Bowser hand as well. Just reminds me of Zelda War Masters and other stuff. First appearance of Kamek was great, and Rocky Ranch is still exclusive to this day. Definitely an amazing Mario set and well deserving of all the hype. Personally though, I rank a lot higher, and that includes this one, which is the Mario 64 question mark block. This was just insane. They kept pushing the boundaries with the LEGO Mario DTCs, and this just happens to be the weakest one. And this was the second one they did, so that's not too bad of a track record for them. The micro worlds here for Mario 64 are great, and the fact that they then just fold up and flip inside is just engineering. Wow. And then to have the secret compartment with Bowser in it as well. How creative, so clever. I've given this set so much more respect over the years. And the micro builds are also incredibly well done. To be honest, I can see myself picking up before it retires if there weren't so many other great sets out at the moment. It's just a fantastic set, like the engineering on this thing. Crazy, 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 crazy. Finally, coming into the list, we have the worst of the character pack series, although all of them rank incredibly highly. I love these guys. We have series of 5 here. Is largely soured by the change from bags to boxes. The boxes here, we didn't have the barcodes like we do with the CMF series now, so it was incredibly worse. This was also a drop from 10 characters to 8. Although we did see some highlights here, such as the Baby Yoshi, the Hammer Bro coming in, new colours for the Shy Guys and Yoshis and Toads, which was fantastic at the time, although Toad would not remain exclusive. Water Wing was an air, Toadie is the worst one in the series, and getting Nabbit was great, although he would appear in a set later on. However, this was a solid lineup of figures, unfortunately, and I do like the wider bases, but unfortunately the weakest of the 6 in my opinion. At least until I do my proper analysis of these. I've still got like a half-finished 2.5 hour script for character packs that we're going to have to do at some point. Next up is Series 2, coming in just a little bit better. This was just slightly weaker than the other series as well, but still better than the other. We've got our 10 characters here, and I've got a little bit of nostalgia here, but Bone Goomba, Thwimp, Ninja, Hucket Crab, Poison Goomba, and Poison Shroom, and Fly Guy, all great. The Spiny Cheep Cheep and the Buzzy Beetle are and the Foo's just okay, but otherwise a really solid lineup, and they've really made use of the fact that they had 5 biomes, so they gave 2 characters to each biome. Really like this series, it's just the weakest compared to the others. Finally coming in, we have our last starter course now at this point on the list. This was the original one. Of course, there's an incredible amount of nostalgia for this set just existing because it was the first of the LEGO Mario sets to get revealed, but this really was a starter course that could show you what these characters could do without giving away all of the higher and funner features that you could get in the expansion sets. Where not only did we get a start flag and an end pole, but we had Bowser Jr., we had the Goomba and the Mario, which is again, mini-boss, most iconic enemy, and then a character as well, the Digi character as well. Lots of pillars to build. In fact, I think there was even one more that wasn't included on the box. We've got a question mark block, some platforming challenges, all the different colours so you can see how he interacts with grass, water and lava, and then a launching feature to like make the Bowser Jr. Tower explode, which isn't shown in this image, and then the cloud as well. Packed. Again, still overpriced, still not the best set, but as far as introductions go, this was the best ever starter course we got. But I like this one more. This is the Decorating Maker set, which was all about adding backgrounds to your sceneries. It was exactly what I was craving after 3.5 years on a Mario theme. Not only do we get exclusive blue Yoshi, and another Koopaling, but a mushroom, a mini Moai, and then another Goomba with an at the time exclusive face print. But you've got all of these wonderful pieces for background decoration, including pyramids and rocks and fires, but also the colourful background hills, as well as just plates to put these on, and plates to connect these to your layouts. I definitely need to pick this one up so that I can expand my course builder systems, as I have a lot of the Mario sets now, and I'd really like to be able to decorate them using this set. We have Bowser Jr.'s Clown Car, though, coming in better. Again, this was the first of the £10 sets and did an amazing job at making those £10 sets make sense, giving us an exclusive character, in, well, not exclusive, but a Bob-omb, easily to mass. If you wanted a Clown Car for each of your Koopalings, you would get a lot of Bob-ombs, which is great. Same thing happened with the Goomba Shoe. But also the Clown Car was just something we needed. It was the perfect £10 expansion to the Mario Starter Course, which almost everyone had, but you could also add Mario to it, or Bowser Jr., so it worked great for that set, and was just absolutely something we needed to see. So that's one thing I do appreciate about the new Mario Kart Starter Course, is that Clown Car is coming with Bowser Jr. That makes a lot of sense. This year's £10 set for January was the Yoshi's Excellent Adventure set, which has a great name, but also featured 2 coloured Yoshis. If this set featured a new colour of Yoshi, I would have it already, because I really love this set. It's cute, it's simple, it's the polybag but better, giving us the egg, but also a bigger tree, and 2 Yoshis. It's just a shame that I have both of these Yoshis, and neither of these Yoshis are uncommon, because the pink one's shown up so many times and is appearing in a starter course, and the yellow one, also appeared in a polybag and another set. Why not new colours? Where are the other colours of Yoshi? Where's light blue? Where's the, I don't know, the purple one, the other colours, like the blue one from the Maker set, if you wanted to make that one less exclusive? Why did you pick the two most common Yoshi colours? Only thing holding this set back. Character Series 6 comes in next. Again, the two 8 series characters, as much as I love them, are just weaker than the original 4 because you had less of them, they cost more and they were in boxes. Despite that, you did get more detailed landscapes, particularly here. It was great to see the blooper with the baby bloopers come back. Birdo, still exclusive this day. Green Toad, still exclusive. Cat Goombas, amazing. Ice Bro, great. I liked even seeing Bramble back from his original Chain Chomp appearance. And getting Spike was also needed. The only royal one here is Sumo Bro, just didn't care one way or another. But otherwise, this lineup was incredibly solid and the landscapes were a huge step up compared to Series 5. Although I still prefer the smaller bases and the original series, such as Series 4, which comes in next. Again, this is a great series, just a couple of misses. Specifically, I think Goombrat and the Scaredy Rat are the two misses here, although one could argue that Baby Penguin and Freezy did not need to be here because they were coming in sets very soon, although I do appreciate their cheap availability, although really Baby Penguin did not need it. It was cute to get friends in this set though as well, compared to others. Every other character here is great. The bases were packed. It was great to see beach bases and snow bases and them just diversify, because up until this point we hadn't seen snow sets. This wave came out at the same time as the beach sets. We hadn't seen a bully at all, and he was one of the characters I felt we needed the most, especially after the Mario 64 block. This is a great series and the last one of its kind, and they really knocked it out of the park with it. Reznor Knockdown comes in just better still. A lot going on here, again, quite a complex play loop, which is fine, and this one executes it less messily than other sets that have ranked lower down. There's a lot going on. You've got Blue Toad, who at the time was exclusive, not anymore. We've got the Growl, who stayed exclusive, and then the two Reznors, also exclusive. And just the ability to mess with this windmill. It's so wacky and fun, and it works really well with the digital figures, but also on its own. It's a really compact build. There's a lot going on, and I look forward to rebuilding it because I do have it in my collection. I also think that the knocking, rod mechanism is really engaging and just satisfying as well. Bowser's Muscle Car was a hit out of the park, and once again a set that I would own if I didn't already own two Bowsers, and will probably end up owning a third Bowser before too long because I have the dry and the normal one and I'm going to get that train. So yeah, this is a great set. I really love that we finally had Bowser in a cheap set for kids that wanted him. I really love that the car looks so amazingly perfect. It's truly wonderful. That 3D world love really coming through here, and then the bomb launching feature as well. This is a great set. I'm really tempted to buy it, actually. It does look fantastic. I just don't need another Bowser. It's a shame. I do like playsets more, usually, so another one that came in quite highly for me was the Big Spike Cloud Top Challenge. I've been trying to get my hands on this one for a while. Again, springy mushrooms with a boomerang blow, and this amazing spike feature where you push down and then you launch on him, but also just some great sort of background drop building with the leaf pieces being used to show the clouds going up, and making great use of the transparent piece was introduced here and then later used in Avatar. Pretty weak Piranha Plant being on this seesaw, but a lot here to love actually, and I really like the swaying platforms. Everything here looks perfect, and Big Spike translated so well. Fantastic set, a little overpriced though. We have Luigi's Mansion Hide and Seek, or Haunt and Seek I should say, coming in next. Is another set that I do own with the Garbage Can Ghost as well as the Red Ghost as well. I've forgotten his name. Grabbing Ghost? That sounds right. But again, lots going on here. We have the 3 gems hidden around in the toilet bed and underneath the dining room table. It did just capture a lot of that Luigi's Mansion aesthetic. We had a red toad hidden in a portrait that was fun, and I'm glad that you could put other characters and interact with that. The bit in the middle where you turn characters around, I get why it's there, but it's just kind of a waste of parts, but it did need to be here. And then the King Boo feature is really interesting, but mostly it's all about those characters for this set. On sale, this was a great pickup, but again, pretty pricey for its set, and of course, really hard to display, but it does do a great job at capturing the insides of the mansion. We have Thwomp Drop coming in next, and again, this is another one that I am actively searching for on eBay to try and get my hands on, featuring the Thwomp build and 2 fire bubbles. This was a great expansion to your lava biome, especially for Wave 1. Thwomp, again, being an incredibly iconic enemy, it's shocking that this is the only time he has appeared, in a retail exclusive no less, and the feature where he gets a little bit lower each time before actually dropping requires a little bit of skill of the Skull Train. I think that's interesting, and especially on the hard mode, I think it makes for a really fun challenge, and the aesthetics are just perfect. A great set. Really wish I'd picked this this one up so far. Dry Bowser's Castle has suffered a little bit in my opinion since the last time we saw it, as I did really love it. However, I do still prefer the original Bowser's Castle. There is a lot going on here, and I do own the set now, and I'm really happy with it. I specifically love Barone Piranha Plant and the Magmar, as well as Dry Bowser is of course a great inclusion. It was about time we got him. The secret feature and him being able to turn around with the little war room underneath is really adorable and works really well. And I still love the just sort of presence that those giant chains give it. I really want to mess around this summer with combining this with the original Bowser's Castle to see if we can make a mega castle for where, say, this is the front gate and then Bowser's Castle forms the inner keep. But we've also got these nice side builds. I really love the roof piece that they made for the Mario line as well. That looked great. And the Bowser face is okay. Overall, just weaker than the other castle, as it's not as much of a castle, but a great set nonetheless, with plenty of interactions and play. We have Character Series 3 coming in second place for our Character Series. You just can't beat that original, with another amazing lineup of 10 characters that also balanced some detail as well on the bases. Really, the only missed character here is the Crobat. Just pathetic. Again, I mentioned he shouldn't have been... I'm alright with these character pack figures getting reprinted in other sets, but he should not have appeared in Series 3, given that he was in the same wave in the Boss Sumo Bro Tower, which is just unfortunate. But with some amazing inclusions here, like Amp, Scuttlebug, Golumba, Dry Beetle, or Bony Beetle even, and the One-Up Mushroom as well. Fantastic. Great lineup, great characters with great landscapes. Just what more could you ask from a solid character pack series? At this point in time, CMFs were slacking. These I loved more than the collectible minifigure series is, and I have only played 2 Mario games. So that says something. We have Conkdor Noggin Bopper coming in, and Conkdor Noggin Bopper is the best LEGO set name of all time, because he's a noggin bopper. That's just hilarious. Anyway, he translated perfectly into LEGO form, looks absolutely amazing, and was a great £10 set, with a simple feature, because it's only a £10 set, but I just really like that you could buy lots of them, and also he looks great. He's fantastic. Can't wait to add him to my collection. I have him, I've built him once, but he's never been around the other Mario sets, so I'm going to add him to my giant course this summer. Big Bad Island also ranking nice and high here, mostly for the giant versions of the enemies. This was a really cool concept. I would have liked to seen a giant question mark box to make this set even better, and to be honest, I really couldn't care less if Iggy was here, but Giant Koopa Troopa and Giant Goomba go a long way, and the landscape builds are fine. I built this set a lot, and I wish we would get more of it, because giant enemies are cool. Give me giant dry bones any day. Focusing back onto Bowser, we have the Bowser Train Express here. I've gone backwards and forwards on this set so much. I love it. I do think it's a fantastic set, but I go backwards and forwards on the price compared to other Bowser sets quite a lot, as I feel like outside of the engine there's not super much going on, as the other cars are either fairly plain or fairly simple. That being said, I will be buying this set this year for sure when it comes out. I love the engine, I love the sculpting on the face, I think it's wonderfully done. Getting Boom Boom back is great as well. Another Hammer Bro is fine by me. 2 new colours of Parabiddy Buds, and Goombas with fancy hats in a T-car. It's just adorable. I think this is just, it's so good. I love the Bowser sets. Bowser sets always hit so hard. They're just so great. Getting 2 stations as well. I don't even need track for this set. Yeah, it's just a great set. I'm hoping there's also some other secret details, so I'm waiting for the review embargoes. Just wish it was a little bit cheaper, but I do love the set. I think it's fantastic. Going into really the best of the best sets, I think we may even be in the top 10 now. We have the Monty Mole and Super Mushroom Surprise. I talk about this set all the time because I just love the play feature here. Not only was it great gift for purchase, but you hit the plow block, which knocks the Moai over. So then you stomp down on the Moai, which launches the Monty Mole out of his hole so that you can get the reward. What a succinct series of events, but they're not only succinct, but works as well as a background, because you've got this giant Moai, which is great. That's awesome. It looks so great on display as well. It's fantastic. What a great combination. One that does this even better is the Big Urchin Beachside, because not only does it do the aesthetics and captures the Beach Mario level feel perfectly, but it has amazing play features, such as the Cheep Cheep Bridge, which is just such an improvement over the Toad Treasure Hunt, where you push down on the middle and they flop backwards and forwards. That's so cool. But we've got the grey rocks, which I'm always a sucker for, a diving board that functions, and a big urchin. A big urchin. Urchin's another one of my favourite of the LEGO Mario enemies. Yellow Yoshi for the first time, a tree that jiggles as you move the dolphin around to knock the urchin over, and the squirt jets that go up and down. Really cool. Everything about this just has all of the right vibes and all of the right play features. A really amazing play set. Again, another one that does this really well is the Desert Pokey. Talk about the desert sets for giving a good backdrop as well as a good play feature, as this Desert Pokey could very much sit in the background of your course and not interact in any way, but you get a cactus, a Monty Mole, and this swinger cart where you can put Mario in it and then launch him side to side to side, but it's decorated with cacti on the side and he looks so happy. I so wish we'd got the Snow Pokey version. I wouldn't have even minded if they just rethemed the same set and given us the same feature. That would have been fine by me just to get the other Pokey variant, but this is a wonderful set from Wave 1, one of my favourites from the Mario theme altogether. I just think it's so clever, I really, really like it. And another similar one from Wave 1, you'll notice Wave 1 has a lot of top spots, which is a shame because I'll talk about it at the end. No, I'll talk about it now. I feel like LEGO Mario started really, really amazingly. They were really, really focused on their core theme, and this kept going. Really solid sets for the first 2 years, up until probably just after the Peach Wave. I felt the Peach Wave was pretty solid with Peach's Castle and the Peach Starter set. And then we noticed that the theme was winding down for its reset time, which was okay. A lot of people thought it was going to change out, but the Donkey Kong sets didn't quite hit as hard, and neither did that wave with the Penguin and the Toad and Nabbit store adventure. That was sort of our weak point, our low point, which is a shame because the designs are still really creative, and I'm so glad they chose to stick with it, because now, excluding the starter courses, all of the sets were back on form. LEGO Mario is going really strong in a new direction now, while still keeping true to the Digi-character roots and what they want to do, which I'm so pleased that they've stuck with it. We've got the Bowser's Train, the Luigi's Mansion set, both coming out incredibly strong, with a DTC still scheduled for the end of this year, which is fantastic. But let's talk about Guarded Fortress. Why do I like this one so much? We get the End of World Castle, which is fantastic, with a feature to actually knock it down. It creates a nice big backdrop, but we also have the best Piranha Plant feature to ever feature in the LEGO Mario system, with him coming out of the pipe and you then launch him back in there. We have the ability to launch characters, such as Green Koopa Trooper, which was his first appearance, as well as to raise the flagpole, still the only set to include the Mario flagpole, at least I believe until the new starter courses drop in August. Next up, we have the Chain Chomp Jungle Encounter, which again, just like the Pokey, small set with simple feature. You've got the Bramble to jump on, who was previously exclusive until Series 6 of the character packs, great enemy with flexible rods, but also the Chain Chomp, who you can fling backwards to get the coin box and then scan as well, also a Zelda enemy, but that's besides the point. Just a really small build that has a little bit of landscaping and just hits everything that a small Mario expansion should be. A quick and easy interaction or extra thing to add to your course and more coins. Not a puzzle one, just a fight. Really great. We've got more D2Cs coming up next. The rest of them are all ranked incredibly highly. We have last year's Piranha Plant. This was genius. This was just perfect. Not only have I always been saying about IP botanicals like this and the Mandrake, but it was small, it was cheap, it suits the Mighty Bowser well, and it's just for such an iconic part of Mario lore, so much so it made it into Smash. It's incredibly well known outside of pop culture. Its pixel sprite is also incredibly iconic, and then to time it with the Mario Wonder release where they featured quite prominently, and then to have this pose but also to have the coins in the box, I can gush on this set so much. I had to buy it. It was perfect. I love how bulky it feels so accurate, it's so smooth, it's so amazing what shapes they were able to create with LEGO, and I can't wait to display it next to the Mighty Bowser as well, who we haven't even seen yet. Next up, we have the original Bowser's Castle. This came up the top of my list last time, I believe, and I do still love it very dearly. This was the first of the big Mario sets, and they crammed a lot in here, actually recreating a boss battle perfectly. I've gushed in multiple videos, so I won't do it today, about how much I love this boss encounter and how it feels really tailored to the Mario system and how it really does feel like a boss fight due to the sort of two phases and the difficulty inherently to it, but let's leave it for now. We also had Boo, which was one of his only appearances, at least until recently. We had the Time Block and Dry Bones as well, who you can't even see here, as well as the Lava Bubble, and we have this 8-bit wall texture as well. This is really great. This felt like a keep, so I'm looking forward to putting this with the other set, as while it feels potentially a little simple in places, I can't, even without the nostalgia goggles, I still think it holds up. It's a fantastic playset, really, really amazing. Feels really great from every angle, feels really finished, feels really compact while having a lot of features and clearly feeling worth the value. I love this set a lot. And another D2C coming in near the top, we have the NES. This one's gone up since last time. Again, I never owned an NES, I'm not old enough to have, but this set's perfect, just in every way. The fact that they recreated the cartridge mechanism, the TV scrolling, and then the controller, just perfect. I stand by that this set is the best build experience I have ever had in a LEGO set, seconded only by Rivendell and the Titanic. Every piece of putting this together was a genius mix of LEGO engineering, with so satisfying. Almost no repetition, and when there was repetition, that was satisfying. So many references and moving features. It's so functional and it looks so wonderful on display. Just an amazing set. This one really goes down in the LEGO Hall of Fame. truly incredible, and I'm so glad that they just didn't do hundreds of them either. Like we didn't get a Wii and a SNES and stuff. Just this and the Atari and the Pac-Man arcade, I suppose, as well. We're getting near the top now, and now we have Character Pack Series 1. I just love these guys. What a perfect addition to the Mario lineup. A cheap way for people that didn't want to buy into the Digi-System to get some of their favourite enemies in LEGO form. They remind me have so much DNA of Mixels and other things in them, and also this character selection for Initial Wave was so strong. A Goomba, yes, it was a Paragoomba, but take the wings off, it's a Goomba for £3.50. A Fuzzy and a Bob-omb, both massive and iconic enemies. A Bullet Bill, the Mario Kart fans are on board along for your blooper. And an Urchin just looks amazing, my favourite character pack. He just looks so good. It translates so well to LEGO form, even in this blocky style, which is such a good style as well. I love this series. It's not only nostalgic, but this character selection was so strong. What a wonderful concept that it gets the credit for starting. And as I said, one day I will make my 5-hour video about the Mario character packs, going into depth about every single one of them in as much as possible, because this sub-theme is just beautiful. I own them all, and I love them to bits. And Series 1 is the best of them. And then the best LEGO Mario set, at least as far as I'm aware, is the Mighty Bowser. That sculpting job, whew! Talk about achieving things with LEGO, while him still looking like a LEGO model. He's poseable, he has the dead puppet legs, he has a head that turns side to side and a jaw that opens and then shoots a fireball. They made a LEGO marionette, and it's Bowser, and it looks great. Words cannot express just how amazing this set is. It doesn't even need to be talked about. The shaping, the sculpting, the recolors, the posability. What an amazing model, and so sturdy as well. Truly incredible. Just the best thing they've ever come up with, and just the fact that you can play with him, but it works so well for Bowser, who can not only get big, but is also such an iconic part of the series. Every Bowser set hits so well. And this set's no different. An amazing model for an amazing theme. LEGO Mario deserves more love than it ever has gotten, as there's so much going on, and I'm so pleased that LEGO took it in their own wacky and creative direction. And I love the Nintendo partnership, and I'm so glad that I supported it, as now I get a Deku Tree. But I hope you guys all enjoyed the ranking of all the LEGO Mario sets ever. This is the updated version. Hopefully I wasn't more negative this time, as it feels like last time most of the sets were hitting, like just doing amazing. And then this time we've finally had some stinkers in a sense, at least by my standards. I know obviously some of you feel very differently about that, but this time it feels a lot more balanced. Like we've had some bad years, we've had some amazing years, and all the D2Cs and Bowser sets, and there's so much to love about this theme. I wish more people would appreciate it for what it is. But hopefully this wasn't excessively long, just an hour. Okay, not too bad then. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your favourite LEGO Mario set and your least favourite Mario set, as well as what you think of those new starter courses, as I'm not happy, down below in the comments. And stay tuned very soon, because I'm off to a convention. So, LEGO Zelda video coming tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching, and I have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.